Be honest with me. Has it ever waned for a second? Have you ever had a lull where you felt stagnant in what you were doing
In the UFC or in my life?
in UFC?
Uh, the stagnant probably happened before the Fertittas and Dana White bought it. I mean, I realized that we could almost be out of business. We went from having packed houses of 5, 10,000 or more people, being the top 10 fastest growing pay-per-view on DirecTV and everything, to Senator McCain calling us human cockfighting and all, and we were taken off the air and kept alive by DirecTV and kept alive, thank God, by the internet and the fans on the internet. And then I remember doing an event in Louisiana, and there was only 1,500 people in the audience, and Kevin Randleman was the main event. If you remember Kevin Randleman, who died a number of years ago, great wrestler. And so he was coming out, and he slipped on a pole in the back and fell and knocked himself out, right? So we couldn't have a main event. So I'm getting ready to go, and they go, Buff, you got to tell him there's no main event. Why?
Yeah.
Kevin Randleman's knocked out. He can't come out. Tell him. Told him it's like bottle and can flying time. I realized we're at the lowest point ever. And it just seemed bleak. I thought, I was always into it, always ready to do it, but I think the machine was about to fall. Right? Then I get a call from the owner, Robert Meyerowitz, at the time, and he says, Bruce, I've got some good news and some bad news. And he said, well, the bad news is I sold the UFC. The good news is I sold it to Dana White and the Fertitta brothers, and they want to keep you and Big John McCarthy. And I said, oh, I'm really sad to see you go, but. And then I was at a boxing event, because I used to do undercards and boxing on HBO. When as my brother's manager, I did them because I enjoyed doing it, but I was also taking names and taking numbers and making deals, on the side.
Networking.
That's where you got networking. For
sure.
So they took us to a really nice restaurant, and they put out Opus One wine on the table, and I'm like, whoa, I like this. I like their style. And I realized the passion in the Fertitta brothers and the passion in Dana White, and I thought, now my whole energy, my whole passion was just relit. So yes, if I was stagnant, it was back then. Since then, we're working under Dana White, and the whole UFC machine has been nothing but a great rocket ship, just constantly going uphill, and I've got a first-class seat. How can you not love that?
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey.
The travel gets to me once in a while.
Oh, is that one of the things that does it? I can imagine. We travel a lot